It's the year 961 CE, and Miaofu, an 81-year-old nun, daughter of a Chinese man and Tibetan woman, is lying on her deathbed in a monastery surrounded by monks, incense, flowers, fruit offerings, and candles. As she drifts in and out of consciousness, she recollects her past. She imagines herself as an 11-year-old girl again. She's preparing for her ordination.
It's time. I vow not to kill any living creature. I vow not to steal anything. I vow not to engage in any form of sexual misconduct. I vow not to lie or use false speech. I vow not to consume or distribute any intoxicants. I vow not to discuss the false and misdeeds that occur by any Buddhist. I vow not to praise oneself or disparage others. I vow not to be stingy or abusive towards those in need. I vow not to harbor anger or resentment or encourage others to be angry. I vow not to criticize or slander the three jewels. Here is your begging bowl and your certificate and your monastic robes. There's so many advantages to being a nun. Yeah, like we aren't forced into arranged marriages. We also have time to study and free housing and well-cooked food. Aren't you only 11 years old? You're way too young to be a nun. I know, but my father is trying to get permission from a government official.
During the following years, Miaofu studied the proper behaviors of a nun, taking the first precepts, vowing to abstain from drink, sex, murder. Miaofu turns 18 and goes through another ordination. She then receives her temple name, meaning wonderful blessings.
Miaofu, now that you have finished another ordination, you must be taught how to sweep floors, how to eat, how to walk, depending on the robes you're wearing, to salute a superior, how to speak, to dress, to make a bed, and make your clothes into a bundle for traveling. After you perform these tests successfully, you will pass your knowledge on to the following nuns. While you're performing these tests, you need to recite the according prayers. On my first awakening from my sleep, I pray that every living thing may wake to saving wisdom, vast as the wide as boundless universe.
Miaofu drifts back into consciousness. During the deathbed ritual, the abbot asks Miaofu in which Buddha land she wished to be reborn. He then describes the joy she would encounter there, intoning the Buddhas of the 10 directions and comforting her by explaining how each in turn would welcome her after death. Then he led the clergy in chanting the Sutra of the Impermanence. Her final ordination begins. After the ordination is complete, they enter the banquet hall and eat. All food must be consumed in the morning. Eating after midday is prohibited unless the person is to do manual labor later that day, in which case they are allowed to eat at night. Nuns were then offered to go home and do their tasks. Miaofu, however, stayed at the monastery. At the monastery, Miaofu had read the text concerning the rules and felt that they should have stricter enforcement. Her strong ideas and feelings toward the rules influenced her to become an abbess of one of the local nunneries. Miaofu awakes again and then apologizes for her sins so she can be reborn into a higher stratification. As she goes through her life, she realized that some monks borrowed goods and another monk didn't pay back loans, and she realized she wasn't able to enforce the laws strictly like she wanted. She reflects on her determination to make an income by charging fees for reciting sutras, her knowledge of Chinese text and Sanskrit. She also thinks about the legend of
Mulian goes on a trading mission, and he leaves his mother money to feed beggars and pay for vegetarian feasts for the Buddhist clergy. His mother hides the money and uses it for different things. When Mulian returns, she lies, saying that she used the money as directed. Later, after his parents' death, Mulian becomes a monk. Mulian then goes to look for his mother, but cannot find her in the afterworld, in paradise, because she had went to Avik Hell. There he finds her and talks to her, but then realizes she can't leave. Mulian has to leave his mother, and she's not allowed out of hell, though she claims she has repented. He therefore goes to plead to Buddha, who agrees to go in person to save her. Because Buddha is impartial, he rescues all those who are in hell at the same time. Mulian's mother still has karmic debt to repay, so she is reborn as a hungry ghost, fated fate never to be able to satisfy her hunger and thirst. When her son brings her rice and water, they turn to fire. Buddha then tells Mulian to organize a large feast on the 15th day of the 7th month. The end of the summer retreat, and the only day on which hungry ghosts can eat their fill. After attending this feast, Mulian's mother disappears. Buddha explains that she had been reborn as a black dog, a step up from a hungry ghost. He finds her, and together they pray for 7 days and 7 nights, after which she is again transformed into a woman, and thereafter allowed into heaven, her karmic debt now repaid in full.
She hopes that she has done enough to be reincarnated or go to heaven. The year is 961. Another ghost festival is happening. Unfortunately, Miaofu will not be attending because she has died during the night.